Hello and welcome to this refreshed knife review of the Spyderco Slipit set. I'm going to try and bring you one knife or motorcycle video every week on a Saturday. I've sort of coined it Super Saturday. It might have that in the title, it might not, but either way I want to start releasing more regular content for my knives and my motorcycles. This week I've done it on a Sunday, but normally you'll get them on a Saturday. And this week's video is the Spyderco value folders. It's a refresh of a review that I did back in December of 2012, so yeah, 4 years ago. And that's what I'm doing with this channel, with the knife reviews in particular. And sometimes I'll throw in a new knife unboxing or review. So I've been going through a lot of my old content that isn't in very good quality at all, and I've decided to update it, refresh it, just renew it, and this is just to carry on from that. So this Slipit set, it came out about four years ago or so. I will say now that it was discontinued like a year later. However, you can get all of these knives completely separate. Back then it would cost you £24, which saved you about £6 from buying the set separately. Now I think the prices have gone up slightly. They're still great value folding Slipit knives. And so without further ado, let's talk about some specifications. And we'll talk about the Spyderco Bug straight away. Oh, so cute, it's tiny. Haven't got a banana on me, but I do have a UK PK, and that is quite a good little size comparison. It's absolutely, miniature. One of the smallest knives they do, I think. And this is a great little knife if you don't want to spend £40–50 on a knife, but you just want something sharp that's easy to sort of open packages, things like that isn't too offensive. It won't send people running to the hills, and this is one of those sort of knives. Its blade length is a huge 1.27 inches. It weighs 0.4 ounces, so it's about 11 grams, so not very heavy at all, even though it's sort of stainless steel, and the steel is so as you can see, you just close the knife like that, and no locking mechanism. It's got quite a firm back spring, so it won't lock up on you. This knife, I must say, I've cut myself more times on this knife than any other knife in my collection. And I think that's just purely down to the size of it, really, and not knowing, and then just the strength of that back spring there. But there you go, that's the Bug. We'll talk about the specifications of the next largest knife, the Honeybee. The length of this knife is 3.6 inches, and the blade length is 1.6 inches. It weighs 0.6 ounces or 17 grams. So for 6 grams more, you're getting 0.3 inches of a blade bigger than the Bug. And this is sort of like your go-between. If you don't want a really tiny knife and you don't want a sort of large Slipit, this is the one to go for. My friend chose this over the other two just because it's that medium size knife that's still useful, that obeys the UK knife law, and yes, it's not one-handed opening or anything like that, but it's just a nice in-between sort of knife that the blade is at a useful length. That's the Honeybee. And then finally this large one, which is the Grasshopper. The overall length of the knife is 5 inches or 12.9 centimeters. The blade length is 2.3 inches or 5.8 centimeters, and its weight is 1.4 ounces or 40 grams. So 40 grams, we're creeping up there for sort of UK PK sort of weight, and that's purely down to the fact that the blade's getting larger, the scale's getting larger, and these are stainless steel scales. They're not skeletonized, obviously, because they're just one sort of block, so you're getting a bit more heavy in the sort of handle the higher up you go. Again, made in China, like the other two. It's got this lovely sort of drop point blade shape here. In my opinion, it looks exactly the same as the military blade. It's really useful, got an incredible point to it. It's such a useful shape, both for piercing, and it's got quite a nice long sort of belly on it as well. Quite comfortable to hold. Obviously, the larger you go, the more comfortable they'll get. You can get a good 3 fingers on there. and obviously you're not going to be doing too fine tasks. It's still a comfortable sort of knife, just for those sort of quick jobs that you've got. And there you have it. That's all the 3 knives in the slipit set. It's quite a soft sort of steel. It won't hold its edge for a huge amount of time. But the good thing about that is it's very easy to sharpen. So this is sort of like an ideal kit to start your collection off, use now and again, and when they get a little bit blunt, you can just hone your knife sharpening skills, refine that edge. But obviously the sharper you'll get these, that edge won't last as long as some of the better blade steels. But it's still an okay blade steel. It's quick and easy to sharpen, and you can get it at a very sharp edge too. I do like the fact that they've got lanyard holes. If you can find bits of sort of string, you can't put 550 through it, but you can put bits of string or whatever through them. I think that's quite handy. And one of the great things about these 3, they're all UK legal to carry without a good reason. They're great little EDC blades, great value, very cheap for Spyderco, and they're good backup blades. If you're out and about and you've got a main blade and that fails or you lose it, you got one of these, and it's great to have like a useful backup blade. But further than that, they're also good for sort of fine work too. So I'll just do some size comparisons. I've got the Spyderco Squeak here, which some people say that's quite a people-friendly sort of knife, and it's bigger than a honeybee, but the grasshopper just beats it on the length of the blade there, and it has a point. So I'll probably put that there. And then the UK PK is obviously larger than the grasshopper, and it's got a much bigger handle. But guess what? It's only a tiny bit heavier than the grasshopper, and you get all that extra sort of real estate for it too, and the better carpenter steel, the CTS BD1. But obviously the Squeak has got the best steel in this little collection here with the Austrian N690C. So that's just like a little size comparison there for you, comparing them if you were sort of on the fence of which to get, or even you wanted to see the sizes as a backup blade compared to the other knives that they do. And that's the end of my review of the Spyderco Slipit set. Unfortunately, I think it was discontinued. You can still get these knives separate, so in a way you can now choose which one you'd want as a backup blade or even as a legal EDC that won't break your bank as well. So thank you for watching, take care.